Bonjour, peeps. Hi, this is Neshi Lilkatz. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page, where we do the daily live stream for the card draw of the day, which means I draw a card, usually in the mornings, to see what the energy is most important for us to know about on a given day, right? For our highest good, of course. And so usually I'm on in the morning unless I have like a morning appointment or something's going on. Then we do it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's why we're here this afternoon. Hey, Rochelle, good to see you in the chat room. And Cindy Lynn, hello, ladies. And Polly Joe's here too. Hello, Polly Joe. Yeah, today, Wednesday, usually Wednesday, especially after publishing day on the 10th of every month, is a little quieter, and I can get caught up on some paperwork and that kind of stuff for Star Nations. Well, not today. We had a mom's nurse, her palliative nurse was here this morning for her visit with her, and it ran much longer than it usually does. Usually the nurse is only here for an hour, and today it was more like an hour and 15 minutes. 50 minutes. And so it kind of pushed things back away. So I'm so glad that we decided to do the live stream at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, for those occasions. So I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I had it set for 10. I was supposed to have enough time. So we could actually relax into being with the nurse and being with mom and getting that all done, right? And so, yeah, Polly Jo said, for a moment, she's here for a moment. She must be busy this afternoon with client work. So today is Wednesday, September 12th, right? And it's a hot, steamy day here. We're in the mid-80s, but it's very humid. And there's something else going on with nature around here. Remember when we had all that rain? I think that batch of mosquito larvae hatched because yesterday and today it's like you go outside and they're swarmed. And so, yeah, it makes it very interesting trying to get in and out of the house with George, so we're not bringing in so many mosquitoes with us. But yeah, makes it interesting. They say that the mosquito is the Wisconsin state bird, right? Actually, it's the bluebird, but all right. So, hey, Minnie's here too. Hello, Sister Minnie. Rochelle says today is sunny and beautiful. Oh, and I bet it is by the river right by you, Rochelle. Mary Anderson Fry is here. Good afternoon, Mary. And Minnie saying, hi, Neshi, beautiful here, sunny, and we have the skeeters too. I know. I think it was that last rain that they kind of, and then they woke up. They woke up. Now, if I could ask you ladies, and those who are watching, not just ladies, but who's ever with me with this live stream, if you could please like it and share it, right? I am actually remembering to do this. And I'm going to share it to my timeline, my personal timeline. And just to let everybody know, my friends, know that I'm live streaming, because we're going to talk about love today. Okay, and we're doing this right now. Oops. Let's see. My fingers are faster than the quick keys. All right, that one's done. And then I'm going to send it over to the group, the closed group for Star Nations Radio Network magazine. And that's where most of the peeps, the peeps that are active in the community, that's pretty much where they hang out. So I'm going to let them know live streaming. And please join me. And me. There we go. Good. It doesn't take long, especially with those quick keys. And for sharing, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we do that for a couple of reasons, right? We do it so that it's kind of like a civic duty if you will, especially when we're energy workers, light workers, to be able to share information with our friends and with their families. If you know somebody who might enjoy the live stream, to share it with them. That's always good, and it also helps us to get into the news feed more often. And Facebook seems to like that kind of stuff with their how they figure out all that stuff. I just get a handle on it, and then Facebook changes something, and we almost have to start over. Yep. Hey, Elise is here. Hello, Elise. Polly Joe's saying it's raining by her. Well, yeah. You're pretty far up the East Coast with the hurricane event that's happening. I don't think it's made landfall quite yet. I think landfall is tomorrow morning, isn't it? Mary says, Robin, right. I wish it was a bluebird. Maybe it is the robin. Polly Joe is already done, shared and shared. Thank you, Cindy Lynn and Polly Joe. And Cindy Lynn says, I need lots of love today. Self and other. Yeah. Hey, Elise. So the card draw that I did this morning, and we're still using this deck, Pathway to Healing Cards by Brian L. Weiss, MD, medical doctor. And the card that came this morning is this one. I remember that only love is real. I remember that only love is real. When I first read that, I thought, wow, what a great mantra, right? What a great mantra, an affirmation, right? It'd be a good one. I remember that only love is real. So, one time, this was a few years ago, I was reading, and there was a sentence that just kind of stood out for me. And I'm trying to remember what that was. It was being in the present. Being in the present. I think that's what it was. And when I first read it, it's just like be in the present, or being in the present, right? And then what I did is I wrote that sentence out, and I capitalized being as in human being or spiritual being in the present. And that went right to my heart, right? And it was one of those moments that I wish I could have shared with somebody in the moment. But Paul was sleeping. This was like, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning. So any of the friends and sisters that I would be able to call, I wouldn't call at 1 a.m. in the morning, because they would think that there was a problem, right? And a crisis. So what I did was I took a vis-a-vis marker, and I went into the bathroom, and on the mirror, I wrote that sentence in an arc on the mirror. And so when I stood in the mirror to brush my teeth or comb my hair or put my makeup on, that sentence was over me, and I could see it, And it was for me, it was pretty profound at the time. Being in the present. And so anyway, when I read this card this morning, that reminded me of that. I remember that only love is real. Only love is real. Yeah. And by the way, if you hear background noises like barking or whining or me saying, don't bite, that's because George is up here with me. And right now he's falling asleep underneath one of the chairs. So just in case you hear some background noise, okay? Okay. So on the back side of this, it says, love is the energy that fills the universe. Love fills every cell of your body, every atom of your being. Right? And I'll let that sink in for a moment. Love fills every cell of your body, every atom of your being. Okay. So, the other day we had a card about love, about, love in your heart, right? To fill yourself up with love. And I had one of those insights that morning from the card, and that was that the love is always there. because with the Creator creating us, and if the universe is based on love, then we're already filled with love. And it's already there. And what we're doing here on our earth walk is learning our life lessons, right? And healing our emotional and mental traumas so that we remove the interference, the blocks, the debris that's covering that in our innocence, right? And that it's already there. We just have to uncover it. It's not like we have to go out and buy anything or learn anything new or anything like that. It's already there. The work to get to it, to recognize it, to feel it, to be aware of it all the time is to do our healing work, right? And so this card reminds me of that. It reminds me of that. I remember that only love is real and that we're already filled up with it, that the universe, the love is the energy that fills the universe. And the universe is already here with us. It's inside of us. And so it fills every cell of your body, every atom of your being. It's already here. It's what do they call that? A fait accompli? Yeah, it's already done. Our part of it is to remember, because it's already there, to remember it. And of course, yeah, to do our healing work so that we can have full access to it, that we're not blocking anything. And when I sat with that for a moment, as I was waiting for the nurse to show up, it felt good. It felt, okay. So what my thoughts went to Thoth, okay, and what he gave us was as above, so below, as within, so without, correct? And so the universe is on the outside of us, but it's also on the inside of us. It's above us, and it's also here on earth. And so if the universe is filled with love, then the earth is filled with love, and we're filled with love. And I remember having my cup of coffee with me, and I was thinking, that feels so good. And we get to remember that. We don't even have to ground it to the earth plane because it's already here. It's already here. Our job is to remember it, to heal enough aspects of our traumas to be able to feel it, to be with it all the time. And not just to have brief moments of joy and bliss and love, but to be in it all the time. Now, I know that some people would probably think, oh, that's really Pollyanna. I've been called that many times. Or that, that's unrealistic. And I'm not sure exactly how you could define it as unrealistic, that if we're creating our own realities, we can create that. We can have that. The only one stopping us is us, is individually. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of love going on in the chat room, because Cindy Lynn said, I need lots of love today, right? Self and other. And yeah, and so Rochelle said, hi, Cindy Lynn, hugs. And Cindy Lynn said, thank you to Rochelle. And Cindy Lynn said, I love you all so much. You are all my true family. Thank you. And we think of and feel the same way about you, Cindy Lynn. I love it when we see your name in the chat, and to know that we get to spend some time together every day, right? And Elisa's saying that we love her too. There's a lot of love going on in the chat room. Lots of love. And you're right, Rochelle. She says, okay, Amor Vincent Ominia. Ominia? Love conquers all. I think I pronounced that right, Ominia. And there is another saying, and I think it actually came out of the LGBTQT community, but it was also picked up by the water protectors and the sacred site protectors, and that is love wins. Love wins always. Love wins. And it's a huge hashtag, right? When if you look up hashtags, look up hashtag love wins, and you'll see a whole bunch of things about it. But love does win. It has a higher vibration than fear. Joy has a higher vibration of love. But you get to joy through love. That's the pathway to joy, is love. And so we have it's not even opportunity. It's not. An opportunity means that that you have, it comes once in a while, it's constant. It's here all the time. All the time. Just like the flow of universal energy, flows right through us, down through our crystalline tube from the top and up through the bottom. And so it's flowing through us all the time. A gentle, constant flow. And so if love is the energy of the universe and it's flowing through us all the time, love literally is flowing through us. Whether you want to be consciously aware of it or not, you don't even have to be, because it's always there. It's always there. It's good to be consciously aware of it so you can turn your attention to it. If you've been with me for the Unity Breath meditations, the guided meditations at the end of the month, the last Tuesday of every month, you know that I talk about our crystalline tube. It's also known as the pranic tube. And some people who study the chakras will know it as the Hara line. But universal energy flows through it constantly, never ending, never ceasing. It's a gentle flow that connects us to all of the universe. And it reminds us that we are a being of the universe. We are a universal being. Yes, we are human beings. We are earth inhabitants. But we're also beings of the universe. And that energy from the universe is flowing through us all the time. It flows through Grandmother Earth all the time. And so that means that love is constantly flowing. Have you ever thought about that? It was in the chat. Kind of put the 2 and 2 together, or connected the dots for that. Yeah, and Minnie says, love always wins. Yes, it does. Always. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it, especially when you see what the chaos that's going on in the White House and in other governments, and you think, oh my God, what is this turning into? But if you turn your attention to also what else is going on, you know that there are people helping people. There are people helping the environment. There are people who are helping animals and mammals and whales and dolphins, and we're doing the best we can. Yes, we have a long way to go to clean up the ocean, to take care of our mess, but there's people already doing that, and they're showing their love for nature, right? So it's a good thing. Even though it may look chaotic on the surface, beneath that, there's a whole bunch of people who turn their attention to love. And I would like to think that there are many of us here in Star Nations that do just that. Because every time we put our vibration at the frequency of love, we change the environment around us, the energy around us shifts. It shifts to love. We help to raise the vibration of a space just by standing in there. You don't even have to turn your thoughts to things that you love, like a grandmother earth or grandfather sky. That when you are in that frequency of love, all you have to do is go and stand in a spot and you start shifting the energy around you. Mhm. Yeah, Rochelle says 3 years of Latin. The only thing I remember. Well, it's a good one. It's a good one to remember. In fact, I'm gonna actually copy that. I think, and I'm gonna post it someplace. Maybe I'll do a meme with it. How's that? I'll create a meme with it because it's a good one. I like it. Love conquers all. Love wins. Hmm. I use that hashtag a lot when Standing Rock was going on full force, right? Just about every post I did about Standing Rock, that was one of the hashtags I used. Love wins. Love wins. Um, yeah, to raise that vibration to love. Right. So it's interesting, I think, when I was turning my attention to if the universe is filled with love, right? That love fills every cell of your body, every atom of your being, every atom, every cell. And I had to stop and think about what about those cells in our bodies that are precancerous or cancerous? You get that diagnosis, right? And I was thinking about that. And if we remember that we already are filled with love, and we have to remember that, and to live that vibration, what happens to those cells that are not currently at the vibration of love because they have a disease, right? What happens to those? I thought, wow, that's kind of like Dr. Emoto's work, isn't it? The work that he did with water. Because our bodies are what, 85%, 70%? I want to say 85%. When you're well hydrated, 85%. When those of us who drink water, Rochelle, drink water and we're hydrated, I'm teasing her now. And Polly Joe is the same way, right? When you remember to drink your water and you're hydrated, that if we love the water and put our hands on it, on the glass, right? And you say, I love you to the water. Thank you, Grandmother Earth, for bringing your blood, your life blood to us, water, the sacred water. We love you. And we ingest it. We take it in, right? So if we're already filled with love and then we're taking love in, what happens to those cells that are not healthy? If we do that for, what is that, 91 days, I think it's 90. Do it for 90 days, 91 days. Our cells regenerate every 90 days. So an old cell at day 89 isn't around, it walks on, but there's a new cell to take its place, a healthy cell, hopefully, right? So if we do that, that's what I was thinking about, is that if we're already love, and love is inside of us, and we take water in like we do with Dr. Emoto's work, or we already say that to ourselves because we're the container for that liquid we called water. I don't know. It had me thinking about that because, we have tools right at our fingertips all the time. All the time. All the classes that you have taken, all the things that you have read, there's tools in there, right? That it's more than just a bunch of words put together and someone else's work, right? It's also your tool if you went to that class or read that book. And so you can apply it. We can apply Dr. Emoto's work on our own bodies. Why not? Tell our body and the water within our bodies that we love it. I love you. Mm-hmm. Polly Joe, terrible with remembering to drink the water. I know. Cindy Lynn, I'm bad with not getting enough. I know there's a lot of people. We're as a society, as a whole, we're dehydrated and we're lack of sleep. We're sleep deprived. Those two things. Yep. And Rochelle said, I am drinking diet cream soda right now. Well, good for you, Rochelle. Now, the next thing you get to drink would be nice if you had a glass of water. Yeah. Do you remember? Oh, this was a few years ago. Some of you might still have them. They are words of power that are printed like on plastic or acetate, and you can put them on glasses, on like a drinking water of glass, or you can put them on mirrors, or any kind of surface like that, and it adheres to it. It's removable, but you can put it on a glass of water, and you can change the frequency of the water to a higher frequency if you put the word love on it, and good health and healthy, and and so you embed that frequency of that word into the water just by placing that word on the glass, right? And so this is what I was thinking about while I was waiting for the nurse to show up. Is that okay? So we do that with the glass of water. That's easy enough to do. Some of us still have those plastic acetate. Does anybody still use those? Because I do. I have some on the containers that I have for the water upstairs in the bathroom. Rochelle, it's so bland. Okay, that's fine. You're the one who likes to be dehydrated. That's okay. It's your body. And he said, yes, I still have some. And saying, neat, didn't know that. Yeah. If I can remember to put a link in the comments about them and where you can purchase them. Yeah, they used to carry them all the time in new agey kind of stores. Yeah. In rock shops, those kinds of places, they used to carry them all the time. And we, I want to say it was like in the early 2000s, we were using them a lot, because Dr. Emoto's work had just kind of went viral around that time. And so there were a whole bunch of us energy workers who were using those, and those of us who were teaching weekend classes or retreat kind of situations, we would get them and we would put them on the big tanks of drinking water. Yeah. Blessing the water, blessing it. Yeah. Changing the frequency of it. I also had one of my teachers, Dr. Fran Ehrlichman out of Madison, when she was teaching a lot of classes then. She was the one who, we're practicing dowsing and blessing our water, right? Blessing our water, and literally holding your hands over your water and saying a blessing to it, right? Yeah. So we would do the baseline. She was a medically trained doctor, Western medicine, retired at 62, and then wanted to practice medicine the way she thought it should be practiced, and more holistically, and using what was considered alternative, right? Oils and flower essences and crystals and that sort of thing. And so she would have us take um, with dowsing, the frequency of the water. And so then once we bless the water, then we would douse again to see what the frequency of the water was after the water blessing. And almost 100% of the time, it increased. It was raised in frequency. And then we would drink the water. So, those kinds of things we can do. It's tools right at our fingertips. You don't necessarily have to douse the water to find out if it raised in frequency, unless you want to. The more important thing is the intention of blessing the water and loving the water and then drinking the water. It's the same thing we do with our food, right? It's the same thing. Yeah. And Rochelle says, no, that's cool. Yeah, it is cool. I think it is. Cindy Lynn said, I have seen the crystal and gem water bottles and vases. Yes. Mm-hmm. Now you have to be careful with crystals, though. You have to know your crystals and which ones can be put in water without dissolving. Like selenite. Selenite will dissolve in water. And also which ones are healthy to ingest and which ones are poisonous to ingest. Yeah. So you have to know your crystals before you put them in the water and to drink them. Polly Joe says you can add lemon, orange, or lime to your water. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Minnie has a really good, delicious recipe for citrus imbued water. Is that a good way to put it, Minnie? Minnie does some cool stuff. She even uses cucumber in water. So there's lots of different ways that you can. Now, in Star Nations magazine, Patty Heredia, one of our contributing writers, in the September issue, has a part 1 of soul food, healthy food, whole food. And she talks about how food, when we grow our own food, that the vibration of the food frequency adjusts to what our body needs. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But not everyone is a gardener, and not everyone has the space to be a gardener. Some people live in apartments, right? And so she was talking about how we can buy food at the farmer's market and a produce store, and how to change the frequency of the vibration of the food to match your vibration and to adjust itself to meet the needs of our bodies. It is a wonderful article. I don't know if anybody's had the chance to read it yet, since we just published on Monday, but it is it's a really good article. And you might want to even check out the November issue, because she's got part 2 coming out in November. Yeah. Rochelle says, oh, be quiet, Polly Joe. Just kidding. No, you weren't, Rochelle. No, you weren't kidding. No, you weren't, because we've had this discussion. And so Minnie says herb water or weed water too. Oh, so Minnie puts mint, thyme, oregano, lavender is a yummy combo. Okay. Yeah, forgot about the mint. Because there's, you can get fresh mint, right? A lot of times. So Minnie, if you don't have available the fresh plant, can you go like to the store and get, because at the grocery store they have the live plant, right? The fresh plant, usually in a plastic container, usually. And what about dried herbs? Which is, I would imagine that the fresh would be the best to use. But if that's not available, what's the next best thing, right? Yeah. And don't forget to put the love in the water, because that's what we were talking about. That's what started the conversation, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So here, we're going to see this again. Love is the energy that fills the universe. Love fills every cell of your body, every atom of your being. Every atom of your being. You know, when I used to teach Awakening the Illuminated Heart classes, there's some information in that class about as above, so below, as within, so without. Years ago, Drunvalo met with it was an astronaut. I can't remember his name. Oh, gosh, he's one of the ones that walked on the moon. Oh well, maybe it'll come to me. Anyway, they were at a conference. They were both speaking at a conference, and so they got to spend some time together as speakers, right? And they got to talking about the astronauts' experience out in space and the things that he had experienced that weren't shared publicly. Water that was shared publicly. And one of the things that he said to Drunvalo was that when in the early days of the race to space, right, between us and the Russians, one of the things that came out of that was that was invented and used, and what they wanted to see was how the universe affected human beings. And in this machine, what they were experimenting with was plants. And so what they did was they took a leaf from a tree, and when they looked at it through this machine, through the leaf, yeah, they saw the leaf, but they saw much more than just the leaf. They saw the entire tree. And so even when they cut the leaf in half and looked at half the leaf, they would still see the entire tree. All right, so what happened was they wanted to know, curiosity, right? Wanted to know if you look at a human being, what would you see? And so they would take fingernail clippings or hair clippings or something like that, and they would put it into the machine, and they would look at it, and what they saw, yes, they saw the hair or the nails clippings, but what they saw was our entire galaxy. They saw the universe. And it didn't matter if it was half of the clipping or only one strand of hair, they would see the entire universe. And so that was one of the things. It wasn't Buzz Aldrin. That wasn't him. But anyway, he said that was one of the things that was never really shared, was that particular experiment. And so if the universe is filled, the energy is filled with love, and the entire universe is inside of us, that we are the entire universe, the love is already there. The love's already there. It's a fait accompli. Elise says, I read it. Really good article about Patty's article. I know. And Minnie says, yes, I always use fresh. Guess you could use dried in a cheesecloth bundle. Oh, yeah. Or maybe even one of those, what do they call those? They're like, the eggs, they're usually metal, and they got small holes for water to go through that you use with loose leaf tea. I wonder if you could use that. That'd be kind of cool. Cindy Lynn says, what about the wild mint that grows all over the place down here? Neil Armstrong. Yes, that was it. Neil Armstrong. Thank you, Minnie. I know it wasn't Buzz. I think it was Neil Armstrong. was Neil Armstrong. Yep. And so I found that just this one sentence and its explanation on the back took me in so many different directions, perspectives of how I remember that only love is real. It took me to the universe, right? And that love fills every cell, every atom of our entire being. And that makes us whole. WHOLE, whole. Yeah. Made me feel good. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if there's a song about that. I know that he's got the whole world in his hands, but we're talking the entire universe here. It's flowing through us, the energy of the universe flowing through us, but it's also inside of us in its entirety. Did you know that there's also a belief that at the core of Grandmother Earth is another star system? The stars are on the inside of Grandmother Earth. So if they're in the inside of her, then they're inside of us. I think that's more than cool. More than way cool. Hey, Mary Pat, thanks for joining. We're just finishing up for Mary Pat's here. This is the card that was drawn today. I remember that only love is real. And love is the energy that fills the universe. Love fills every cell of your body, every atom of your being. Yeah. Brings a whole different meaning when somebody says they can see the stars in your eyes, when they twinkle. Happiness, love, joy, universe, twinkling. I don't know. You guys, I get very philosophical about these things. I got to check the time. Yeah, I had my feeling it was close. It was close. So Minnie and I have something special at 3:00. We're going to be doing a special live stream at 3. And so I want to have a little time in between this live stream and that one, mainly for George, mainly. So we can take him outside, and so he's set for a little bit longer. And oh, hi Donna. Sure, I can show you that. It's the Pathway to Healing cards by Brian L. Weiss, MD. Copyrighted, I believe it's 2004 or maybe 2005. I got stuff on my book. And this is how I found Brian, was through this book, Same Soul, Many Bodies. He was using, he's a medically trained doctor. He's a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and he's a hypnotherapist. And he was using hypnotherapy to help people, right? And in his work, his patients started sharing information from past lives, lives that they had lived before. And so, which was something completely new to him, never heard anything about that. And so he started keeping track. And he had one patient that would come to him, a woman, and it sounded like she'd been to see him several times. And in one of her visits, through hypnosis, he thought she was talking about a past life. And she was very clear to him that it was not a past life, that she was seeing decisions that she can make and which pathway to take for a future life. Decisions that we would make in this present life that would affect a future life, and which pathway you would take. And so that's what he started working on, and it's called progression therapy. And I found out about him through Oprah years ago. So, his writing, you can tell that he is a medical doctor. He is not an energy worker. He is, you won't find much new agey kind of vocabulary coming from him, but it's like, holy cow, that's a whole different way of looking at how we make decisions that not only affect our descendants, but affect our next incarnation, our next life, whether it's here or someplace else, right? So Rochelle said, also Mount Shasta has a city within the mountain. Yeah, right. And Cindy Lynn said, I had a past life regression by him many years ago. Oh, wow, that would have been something to talk about, huh? Maybe sometime you'll be able to tell us about your experience with that. That would be really interesting. So, remember, anything and everything that you heard today about the energy that was important for us to know about, which I believe is that love already fills us. We already have it. It's just remembering it and doing our healing work to remove the debris, the interference, the blockage, to expressing that love and to be it, right? That's what I think the message is today, the energy. So whatever you resonated with, grab it and embrace it. Hold on to it and see how the energy, how it unfolds for you today, and what this energy either could have helped you with, or that maybe you were a witness it, right? And if it didn't resonate with you, no worries. Wasn't meant for you. You can just let it lie. Possibly be the messenger and share the video, the recorded show, with somebody that you may think would enjoy the information, or has been searching for some of the information, and be the messenger, right? Be the light worker and share it. Just as a reminder, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern is Polly Joe's show, Soul Connections. And that hour and a half is really about our healing. As energy workers, many times we put ourselves last on the list to do our own healing work. And so Polly Joe offers this every week, same time, same place, the opportunity to work with your spiritual team on your own intention for healing. And she provides the sacred space and assists with the releasing and healing of what you're working on, okay? So, and that's 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Chakra Sessions fan page, all right? Yeah. And so with that, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And I'm thinking, let's see, tomorrow's Thursday. So I'll see you back here at 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 Eastern, for tomorrow's card draw and energy that's important for us to know for that day. So until then, Ba Mamina, that's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.